Top 10 world problems and their solutions. The most pressing issues facing humanity today. What if I told you that the biggest threats to humanity are not hidden in the future, but are already shaping your life right now? From climate disasters to wars, from polluted water to broken healthcare systems, these problems decide how long we live, how safe we are, and what kind of world the next generation will inherit. Today, we uncover the top 10 world problems, why they matter, and most importantly, how humanity can solve them. Climate change, the silent global emergency. Climate change is no longer a theory or a future warning. It is happening right now. Rising global temperatures are melting glaciers, raising sea levels, increasing heat waves, floods, droughts, and wildfires across every continent. Carbon emissions from industries, vehicles, and deforestation have trapped heat in Earth's atmosphere. This has disrupted weather patterns, destroyed ecosystems, and endangered food security for millions. Why it matters. Climate change affects everything: agriculture, health, water supply, and economies. Poor nations suffer the most, even though they contribute the least to emissions. Solutions: transition to renewable energy like solar and wind, reduce fossil fuel dependency, protect forests and restore ecosystems. Global cooperation through climate agreements, individual action, energy conservation, and sustainable living. Wars and military conflicts, humanity at war with itself. War remains one of the most destructive problems in the world. From regional conflicts to full-scale invasions, wars destroy lives, economies, and generations of progress in seconds. Millions are displaced as refugees, families are broken, and children grow up surrounded by violence instead of education. Why it matters. War diverts money from healthcare and education into weapons. It creates long-term trauma and instability that lasts for decades. Solutions: strong international diplomacy, conflict prevention through dialogue, reducing arms trade, supporting peace-building organizations, addressing root causes like poverty and political oppression. Water, contamination. Crisis, the fight for clean water. Clean water should be a basic human right, yet billions lack access to safe drinking water. Industrial waste, agricultural chemicals, sewage, and plastic pollution contaminate rivers, lakes, and groundwater. Waterborne diseases kill millions every year, especially children. Why it matters. Without clean water, there is no health, no food security, and no sustainable development. Solutions: investment in water purification systems, strong environmental regulations, protecting freshwater sources, reducing plastic and chemical waste, community-level water management programs. Human relations, a global moral crisis. Across the world, people face discrimination, forced labor, child exploitation, censorship, and violence simply because of who they are or where they live. Human rights violations occur during wars, under authoritarian regimes, and even in democratic societies. Why it matters. When human rights are ignored, injustice becomes normal, and peace becomes impossible. Solutions: stronger international accountability, independent media and transparency, education about human rights, support for civil rights organizations, legal protection for vulnerable communities. Global health issues, a world unprepared. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed how fragile global health systems truly are. Beyond pandemics, millions die every year from preventable diseases due to lack of access to basic health care. Mental health crises, antibiotic resistance, and lifestyle diseases are rising rapidly. Why it matters. Health determines productivity, stability, and survival. A sick world cannot progress. Solutions: universal healthcare access, investment in medical research, global disease surveillance, mental health awareness, affordable medicines for all. Global poverty crisis. Trapped in survival mode. More than half the world struggles to meet basic needs. Poverty is not just lack of money, it is lack of opportunity, education, healthcare, and dignity. Economic inequality continues to grow, concentrating wealth in the hands of a few. Why it matters. Poverty fuels crime, conflict, poor health, and political instability. Solutions: job creation and fair wages, access to quality education, microfinance and small business support, social safety nets, fair global trade policies. Children's poor, access to education. Millions of children never attend school or drop out early due to poverty, conflict, or discrimination. Education is the strongest weapon against poverty, yet it remains inaccessible to many. Why it matters. An uneducated generation means a weaker future for humanity. Solutions: free and compulsory education, digital learning access, teacher training and infrastructure, ending child labor, supporting girls' education. Children's poor access to healthcare. Children die from diseases that are easily preventable with vaccines, nutrition, and basic medical care. Why it matters. A society that cannot protect its children has no future. Solutions. Universal child healthcare programs, vaccination campaigns, nutrition support, maternal healthcare, community health workers, child safety and exploitation. Child trafficking, forced labor, abuse, and online exploitation remain major global issues. Why it matters. Children deserve protection, not exploitation. Solutions. Strong child protection laws, international cooperation, public awareness campaigns, online safety regulations, rehabilitation and support systems. Environmental pollution, a poisoned planet. Air, soil, and ocean pollution threaten life on Earth. Toxic chemicals, plastic waste, and industrial emissions are damaging ecosystems beyond repair. Why it matters. Pollution causes disease, climate damage, and mass extinction. Solutions. Waste reduction and recycling, clean energy adoption, strict pollution control laws, sustainable manufacturing, public environmental awareness. Global hunger and food insecurity. Despite producing enough food to feed the entire world, over 800 million people still go to bed hungry every night. Hunger is caused not only by food shortages, but by poverty, conflict, climate change, and poor distribution systems. Why it matters. Hunger weakens bodies, limits learning, fuels conflict, and traps entire generations in poverty. Solutions. Sustainable agriculture and climate-resilient crops, reducing food waste globally, fair food distribution systems, supporting small farmers, emergency food programs in crisis zones. Digital inequality, the new global divide. In today's world, internet access means opportunity. Yet billions remain disconnected from digital tools, online education, and modern jobs. Why it matters. Digital inequality increases economic and educational gaps between nations and communities. Solutions. Affordable internet access worldwide. Digital literacy programs. Technology access for schools, public-private partnerships. Inclusive digital policies. Chapter 13. Corruption, the hidden destroyer of nations. Corruption drains public funds, weakens trust, and blocks development. Money meant for schools, hospitals, and infrastructure often disappears into private hands. Why it matters. Corruption keeps countries poor and unstable, no matter how rich their resources are. Solutions. Transparent governance systems. Strong anti-corruption laws. Independent judiciary. Free media and whistleblower protection. Digital tracking of public spending. Overpopulation and resource stress. Rapid population growth puts extreme pressure on food, water, housing, healthcare, and employment systems. Why it matters. Overpopulation intensifies poverty, environmental damage, and social unrest. Solutions. Family planning and reproductive health education. Women's empowerment. Access to education. Urban planning and smart cities. Sustainable resource management. Political instability and weak governance. Unstable governments create uncertainty, violence, and economic collapse. Citizens suffer when leadership fails. Why it matters. Political instability pushes nations into cycles of conflict and poverty. Solutions. Democratic institutions, free and fair elections, civic education, independent courts, peaceful power transitions, refugee and migration. Crisis, wars, climate disasters, and economic collapse have displaced millions worldwide. Refugees often face discrimination, poverty, and unsafe living conditions. Why it matters. Forced migration destabilizes regions and creates humanitarian emergencies. Solutions. International refugee protection, conflict resolution, climate adaptation support, fair asylum policies, economic rebuilding in origin countries. Mental health crisis, the silent epidemic. Depression, anxiety, stress, and suicide rates are rising globally. Mental health is still ignored or stigmatized in many societies. Why it matters. Mental health affects productivity, relationships, and quality of life. Solutions. Mental health awareness, affordable counseling services, workplace mental health policies, community support systems, ending stigma through education, gender inequality and discrimination. Women and marginalized genders face unequal pay, violence, limited education, and restricted rights in many parts of the world. Why it matters. Gender inequality slows economic growth and social progress. Solutions. Equal education and employment opportunities. Legal protection against violence, economic empowerment. Gender-sensitive policies. Cultural change through education. Loss of biodiversity and wildlife. Human activity is driving mass extinction. Forests are disappearing, oceans are overfished, and wildlife habitats are destroyed. Why it matters. Biodiversity keeps ecosystems stable and life sustainable. Solutions. Wildlife protection laws, habitat conservation, sustainable fishing and farming. Climate action. Global environmental cooperation. The future of humanity, a choice, not a fate. All these world problems are deeply connected. Climate change fuels hunger. Poverty fuels conflict. Conflict fuels migration. But solutions are also connected. Why it matters. The future is not decided by governments alone. It is shaped by collective human action. Final solutions. Together, global cooperation, science and innovation, education and awareness, ethical leadership, responsible individual choices. The greatest problem in the world is not climate change, war, or poverty. It is the belief that nothing can be done. When humanity chooses awareness over ignorance and action over silence, the world does not just change, it survives. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe our channel for more interesting information videos.